So after the installation, we will basically find both this on the desktop and inside all programs and start Meteora. We will find these three files. I'm not going to show you a typical setup installation because, well, it's standard, nothing special. You just have to click next, next, next. So what does this setup.exe actually do? It won't install anything in the system files and it won't install anything in the registry. So you won't have a typical uninstaller to remove the program from within Meteora, and you won't find it in programs and features either, because all the programs in the Meteora Suite are portable. So if you want to uninstall, all you have to do is select the folder where it was installed, which is in C Meteora, and just throw it in the recycle bin. The same goes for the Start menu. You just need to right-click on Meteora, select Delete, and it will remove it for you. After you reach the end of the installation, it will ask you to launch this config here. This is important. Let me show you quickly. You absolutely need to launch this, for instance, even when you switch from a demo platform to a real live one, for example, or when you decide to change your brokers. Basically, you absolutely have to launch this particular instance. Here, of course, you might potentially have many more individual brokers, but I only have this single one available. Select it and enter the account number, okay? You can find the account number here. It's this one, basically. I strongly recommend closing down your MetaTrader platform completely before attempting to perform this particular operation, because some of the underlying files might potentially cause unexpected issues or various other complications and things of that nature. So here you will carefully enter the specific MetaTrader account number and then the exact email address you previously provided to us for the successful license installation. After that, you simply press the install button and it basically copies all the necessary files and then fully activates the program. There is nothing more complicated than that to do. Once it's completely installed, MetaTrader is fully configured and properly installed. I also highly recommend pinning Meteora right here, so you will always have it conveniently available and easily accessible right at your fingertips whenever you need it. Obviously, you need to enable the expert advisors, and inside the tools and inside the tool options panel, the important thing to remember is to also enable the DLs and enable the algorithmic trailing feature. Obviously, this is the basic configuration. Very good. Now let's see what gets installed on the MetaTrader side. MetaTrader will install these two indicators for you here. Intercept for Cockpit and RPC. Then on the Expert Advisor side, it will install Controller version 2, Demonstrate version 2, and at the script level, Broker List Symbol. So what are they? Let's take a quick look at all of them. Broker List Symbol will basically load into a file for you. All the broker symbols, which you'll then need to select inside the configuration panel of the platform. The custom lot sizes depending on the symbol. So for each symbol, you can set up your own lot size so you can be at ease. Then you have Controller version 2, Demon Trade version 2. These are respectively 1. One of these components is specifically designed and utilized to perform various critical control functions, the precise details of which we will explore and examine at a later stage in our discussion. The other equally important component is dedicated to continuously monitoring all the financial trades that are currently active and ongoing within the system, providing real-time oversight. Then we have Intercept for Cockpit. This one is used to intercept, provide some shortcuts, and do things that we'll look at later. And then the RPC. This information is primarily intended for individuals who consciously opt to engage in the practice of copy trading. However, it also possesses significant utility and can prove quite beneficial for those individuals who do not actively participate in copy trading themselves. because it includes a risk management feature, something like that, but it's still in an embryonic stage. So this one isn't fully developed yet. I haven't really focused on it all that much. It will still be significantly improved, or at the very least, clearly highlighted and brought to attention. So the first thing to do is open the market manager. Now, I've already done this a bit, so you will have something, I'm really sorry, something along these particular lines perhaps. So, with just a few essential symbols, the very first thing you absolutely need to do is clearly show, then carefully call, and finally put them all in their proper places. Then, after you've successfully completed this initial step, you will then be ready to launch the entire process. Broker list symbol attached to chart. This one does it so fast you can't even see it, and it creates this famous list of all your crosses. Obviously, if you haven't selected show all, once this process is successfully done, we usually then pick two specific crosses that we basically never ever use, or for example, two particular symbols such as HSE and then Australian. And we close it perfectly. At this point, you could just paste the controller directly. Thank you. First, and it's not on the second one, but I have to just do it directly with the templates because I specifically created the templates and the file before, and template Control-V2. It immediately loads the expert advisor for you, and we strongly recommend that you delete the chart if you truly desire this, because I make you delete it, perhaps for some unforeseen reason. You might go over it, make some significant changes, and then you don't fully realize you're still working on that particular one. So, in this specific way, instead, you can clearly see that it's meticulously set up for effective trading. The same principle applies here. You simply use the provided template, specifically the Diamond Trade template, and then carefully stick it right here. So you'll have the controller here and Diamond Trade over here. Let's take a quick look at what it does and what it doesn't do. So with the F7 key, you open the various options. So basically, essentially, what matters to us is this one. This one, not 13. It controls the initial partial take profits. Basically, in essence, in a nutshell, okay, so the very first one will close at 50%. What exactly precisely, to be more specific? If it's activated, then you set a normal take profit. It will take it at 100% of its full capacity, and then from that point, it can effectively split up into as many as 8 distinct parts. Basically, look, if you genuinely want to split something into 8 separate parts, you would realistically need to have at least 8/100ths of the original, or even more than that actually, to ensure proper distribution and functionality. Because the first one, first, it closes at 50%. If you leave the others at 0, it divides the remaining 50% among the available take profits. So obviously, if you open a position of 0.01, it will close everything at the first take profit. If you open a position of 0.02, for example, it will close 0.01 at the first take profit. And then if you have 3 take profits, it will not execute the third one. It will execute the second, closing 50%. That is the remaining 0.01. Because you can't go lower than that. And if instead you set different percentages in this specific section, like 10%, 20, 30, 40, it will close smoothly and precisely according to the various distinct percentages that you have carefully set. With that explanation in mind, moving on, over here we have the pre-configured default Meteora template. We'll see later what this is for. In other words, we have a comprehensive default template that's already meticulously set up here, with clear and helpful indicators automatically placed on it. So what I strongly suggest is to always begin your work from those pre-configured templates, specifically meaning from the default Meteora template, which is designed for, maybe you modify it and save it as the default Meteora with the same name, and then you won't have any more issues. That's it. And it will always reload that one.
and we'll take a look at it. Great. Now, once this entire process is completely done, all we truly need to do is simply launch the Meteora program. And the very first crucial step will undoubtedly be its initial configuration, because you will absolutely need to carefully enter precisely the same number of accounts here as you do over there. Since in this particular instance, it definitely won't be exactly the same. So, you'll need to do the various configurations, and for that I refer you to the specific configuration video. Basically, you'll see everything there. That's all for now. Goodbye. See you next time.